on in that house, and they leaders will go out to talk to authorities. Only those that has a certain level of reputation, or they possibly will be known by the cops and stuff like that. That's the people that is gonna come out and talk. Um, this is a sorority house where 4 victims were murdered. Soon as the alert that this is happening, this is students in a sorority house that belong to the University of Idaho. They are under the Greek life umbrella. Don't you think that this was not supposed to look like this?
Yeah, I can agree. I can agree with that.
Don't you think, like, for example, a level of urgency would be increased a notch, just for the fact of there are students in a sorority house that belong to the University of Idaho? So I say that to say this: when they found out that it was 8 hours, we don't know if it was 8 hours. We don't know. It could be a longer time. It could be less time. We don't know. Again, keyword time of death. We don't have that. The coroner botched this case, not just for Bryan Kohberger, but also for anyone after Bryan Kohberger gets called a suspect and get brought up to justice. Is really nothing that no one could do. We have to face the reality. This is something that it touched my heart because I have children.
Yeah.
I have a boy around their ages. So it concerns me in a way. Authorities have been taking care of this case. We a lack of integrity, and when I mean integrity, I'm not trying to put a stain on the department, because again, big shout out to Moscow PD. I was one of the tipsters. I was one of the people that after I sat there for hours and hours and days and non-sleep, going through footage, going through phone calls, going through everything that everyone was talking about, I took my own conclusions.
Yeah.
So with those conclusions, I went and have a conversation with Moscow PD. What I know, they know.
Right.
So if what I know, they know, and Taylor knows.
Mm-hmm.
My first and last phone number and all my information, she should have it on her desk.
Right.
I want to say another shout out. Big shout out to WSU Kim. Big shout outs to her. I've been very tough on her. I've been very, very tough on her. And I got to say, I don't have nothing to apologize at all. But I want to send her a shout out and give an olive branch, because I gotta say, I said that I don't have nothing to apologize, and I actually end up apologizing after I end up having the conversation with her, and after we enter like an understanding of the reality of her point of view, that actually I had the opportunity to listen to her in person, like live streaming. Um, it clicked in my head right away. Like, dog, you have to apologize to this lady. You know what I mean? Like, even though I said that, I want to make it clear that even though I said that, after I expect her to jump in on the live stream, and after she jumped in on the live stream, um, I think that was like for the second live stream that I'm gonna show you in a little bit. I had the opportunity to have a conversation with her, and we actually end up having a level of understanding that me as a man, I had to apologize to her We both parents. We got children. We got young adults. Um, Sometimes in situations like this, emotions could take over our takes, or certain misstatement or stuff like that. Misunderstandings happen all the time in true crime. But the most important thing that we have here to learn, that even though I said this in this moment, that I didn't have nothing to apologize, which at that moment, that's exactly how I felt. When I actually had the opportunity to have a conversation with WSU Kim, and I got to get the vibe behind her takes and behind her opinion and what's going on. I end up having so much respect for her, and her will to try to spread the word about something that it was being overlooked, and is the Jack Decor situation. Actually, I understood better that she's actually pro trying to find out the truth of what happened to this victim. So big shout out to WSU Kim. Hopefully we'll be able to have her on our show at some point. That'll be a blessing. That'll be great. I just want to make sure that I make that clear here to our community, that even though I said that at this particular moment, I end up apologizing to her because I got to actually have a conversation with her, and the exchange of conversation, it was so polite, it was so eloquent, that I didn't have no other option to be. I didn't have no other option but to be a man, and I had to apologize to her on live stream, just to make sure that people understand we don't have an ill will against no one here. We honestly just want to help. And if that means we're gonna make peace with people that we didn't understood in the past, so big. That's what we are going to do. If it's anything there to apologize, we will do that. And we just gonna keep looking forward for the betterment, not just of ourselves, but for the betterment of the community. Let's continue. Something that I could say that she have brought up to the table is a possible suspect. The possible suspect is the same suspect that it was named from the very beginning of the case. This is the same person that the Goncalves family said. Everyone needs to understand that Goncalves family said 5 days after the murder that this was not a drive-by. This was not a random drive-by looking for victims.
Right.
They accentuated that whoever did this knows the victims personally. That was 5 days after everything happened. Around the same time, the Moscow PD said that this was a targeted and passionate crime.
Right.
That could only happen and be with someone that is related or close with emotional attachment to this crime. This is stuff that I'm not inventing myself. This is what was talked about from the very beginning of the case.
Yes, sir.
So now that we have the opportunity to make that a little bit clear, right? After that interview, something happened. We could tell that the sister of one of the victims were very, very into this case. If you ask me on my personal opinion, I have sisters that I love dearly. God forbid anything happened to them, I will do my due diligence, but I'll make sure the officers do their job.
Mm-hmm.
I will not intervene. I will gather all my information just to make sure that if the officers request any kind of information from me, or if by any example